The simple-looking molecules holds the mystery of life. The molecule is best studied under the branch of genetics. Imagine this one single plant that has potatoes in the roots and tomatoes at the shoots. Do you think this is possible? Yes, this is what we call the pomato. Or imagine you're in a dark room and suddenly you find a fluorescently glowing mice running around. Do you think these glowing mice exist? Yes, pomato and glowing mice are existing in this modern era, just like computers. We all know that computers run on codes and so do our bodies. And the study of all this concept is nothing but genetics. Let's define genetics. Genetics is a branch of biology that deals with heredity and genetic variation. But let's understand more by defining heredity and genetic variation. Heredity is the passing of traits or characters from parents to their offspring, while variation is a term used to describe the variation in the DNA sequence in each of our genomes. Individuals of a species have similar characteristics, but they are rarely identical, just like your brothers and sisters. Yes, you have the same parents, you have the same mother and father, but you are not look-alike. That is variation. Now, ever wondered who laid the foundation of this interesting subject? Who were the pioneers in genetics that helped us crack the code of life? Let's have a glance in the history of genetics. Aristotle and Hippocrates had put forth a few theories regarding how parental characteristics are passed to the next generation. However, a breakthrough was achieved when Augustinian friar carried out remarkable experiments using garden pea plant and laid the foundation of modern-day genetics. It was around 19th century that Gregor Johann Mendel, now known as the father of genetics, performed the experiment that led him to this path. What he did is genetic testing. Now, what is genetic testing? Genetic testing is a technique of testing genes or chromosomes. But what is chromosomes? We all know that we have 23 pairs of chromosomes or 46 chromosomes in our body. But what they have made of? And where does it usually located in eukaryotic cell? Let's answer this question during this session. So as you can see, this is a eukaryotic cell. Now inside the eukaryotic cells, we have the nucleus. Now inside the nucleus, we can find our DNA. But first, we have this long thread, which is what we call the chromatids or the tangled threads. Now if we zoom in, we have the chromosome structure. This X shape is what we call chromosomes. And if we zoom in the chromosomes, genes are located. And if we zoom in, we have the DNA molecules. Now, we have 3 units make the DNA. We have the 5-carbon sugar called the deoxyribose, a phosphate group, and the nitrogenous base. Again, from chromatid through chromosomes made up of genes, then genes are made up of DNA. Now, the types of chromosomes is depend upon the structure or shapes and function. So each number there or each pair has its own structure or shapes and has its own function. Now, this is a structure or the shape of chromosomes. we have the P arm, which is the smaller part or at the top, and the larger or the longer one, which is what we call the Q arm. And in the center, we have the centromere, where the spindle fiber attach. Again, the shorter arm is what we call the P arm, and the longer arm, ang sa ilalim, is what we call the Q arm. Now, autosomes or sex chromosomes. So, autosomes is makikita dun sa first hanggang sa 22 pair of chromosomes. Yung sa pink na area, that is autosomes. Now, yung autosomes is responsible for the structure and traits of a human being. Eh, paano yung 23rd pair? Yung sa huli, that is what we call the sex chromosomes. Diyan na-identify if you are male or female. So, let's say, if dalawang mahaba or XX, that is female. Again, if XX, that is female, and XY is male. Or the longer and the shorter chromosomes, that is male. Again, XX, female, and XY is male. And that is what we call the sex chromosomes, or the 23rd pair in the chromosomes. Going back to Mendel experiment, now he used green pea plant or the Pisum sativum. Now, bakit niya ginamit ito? Bakit hindi yung rose or yung mango tree? Why this one? Because this plant is perennial and not annual. Kahit kailan tumutubo. Small life cycle, mabilis yung growth ng plant na ito. Minimum requirements for growth, contrasting traits should be easily observed. Ano ba yung contrasting trait? Now, in garden pea plant, green pea plant, it contains 7 pairs of contrasting characteristics. So, plant height. May variety na tall and short. For flower color, we have the purple and white. Flower position, we have the axial and the terminal. Seed shape, we have the round and wrinkled. Seed color, yellow and green. Pod color, green and yellow. Pod shape, we have the inflated and the constricted. Okay, so in this experiment, pinagsama niya yung variety with violet color flower and the white color flower. So, yung expected niya na magiging offspring ng dalawa is like this, or medyo ombre siya, na may white and light violet. But actually, what happened is, so, pinagsama niya yung violet and white. Yung offspring ng dalawa is all violet. So, paano yung genes ng white? Bakit puro violet? So, gusto niya pang malaman. So, yung ginawa niya, pinagsama niya ulit yung offspring ng violet and white. Then, yung naging offspring ng dalawang violet is may 3 violet and 1 white. Bakit ganun? So here, we have 75% purple flowered plant and 25% na white flowered plant. Bakit? Even though na yung parent nila is dalawang purple. Okay, so here, the violet one always expressed. So, mas nakita yung violet dun sa offspring, mas marami. While yung white is suppressed. Now, this one, the violet one, is what we call the dominant gene. The dominant gene is yung mas na-express na genes ng isang offspring. While the white one or the suppressed one is what we call the recessive genes. Yung recessive genes naman is yung less, yung paglabas ng genes dun sa offspring. Again, dominant is yung mas nakikita. And the white one, or the recessive genes rather, is yung less na makikitang gene sa isang offspring. Now here, we have the homogeneous, homo which means same, and heterogeneous, hetero, which means different. Let's proceed first to the homogeneous. It has the same set of genes, both dominant and recessive. While in hetero, different set of genes, one dominant and the other one is also we have the phenotype and the genotype. Remember this one. Phenotype is a physical expression of genes giving rise to the particular observation of traits, just like tall height or the black eye. While the genotype naman is a set of genes that give rise to a particular traits or the genetic makeup. So yung XX and the XY, that is the genotype. Nagde-depend dun sa genes niya. While the phenotype naman is the physical structure of the human being. Now here, again, going back to the garden pea plant. So the violet one contains 2 violet genes and the white one contains 2 white genes. So in F1 generation, may 4 silang offspring na nagkikarry ng isang dominant gene, which is the purple one, and isang recessive genes, which is the white one. Now, pag nanganak yung F1 generation, then it will give to F2 generation. Now, may 3 violet and isang white. So, yung 3 violet contains 1 dominant genes and 1 recessive genes. And yung white one contains recessive genes. Paano ba ito? Anong nangyari? Okay, so para mas mahupos natin maintindihan ang about sa garden pea plant, ang about sa purple flower and white flower, we will use the Punnett square. Now, as you can see, these big letter P's are the genes for purple flower, which is the dominant one, and the small letter W is for the genes of white flower plant, which is recessive. Again, ang dominant amo ina ang mas makita nga genes sa offspring, while ang recessive is ang less nga genes nga makita sa isa ka offspring. So ang ginobra ni Mendel, ginimaw na dya ang purple and the white flower. So here, we will use the Punnett square in order for us to see what's the gene of their offspring. So here comes the F1 generation. In Punnett square, in this area, we will write the dominant one, which is the P, big letter P, the big letter P. And this area is for recessive one, which is the small letter W's. Now, all we need to do is to connect them. So these 4 areas here are for the genes of their offspring. So all we need to do is to connect this one to this one, and again this one to this one, B to this one, and this one to this one. So here we have the P and W. Comes from P and W. Here also we have P and W and P. Here P and W, and again P and W for here. So as you can see, all of the offspring contains the P genes, which is the purple, and dominant siya. Therefore, ang lalabas na color is purple one. Bakit hindi
yung white flower because may W naman siya. It's because the gene of this one or the W is recessive. Less na makikita dun sa offspring. Therefore, 100% na purple flower siya. So, yung ginawa again ni Gregor Mendel is pinagsama niya yung dalawang offspring na ito. So here comes the F2 generation. So PW is a purple flower, contains dominant and recessive genes. Dominant for the P and recessive for W. And yung isa, the same. We have the P for dominant and W for the recessive. So, yun rin yung gagawin natin, just like this one. So, lalagay natin, we have P and P. So, here, P and W. P and W. Here, we have the P and W. How about here? We have W, 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 W. So, as you can see, sa apat na offspring, tatlo yung may P. So, therefore, tatlo yung color purple. Therefore, 75% out of 100 is purple. And may isang WW. Diba yung WW na genes is for the white one. So, may isang offspring which is 25% over 100 is white. Did you get that? Okay, so here's another example. We have the brown eye and the black eye. For the brown eye, we have the AA genes. That is the code for the brown eye. So, the brown eye is our dominant. So, siya yung mas nakikita. And the other one is the black eye, which is the recessive one. So, yung code niya or the genes niya is the LL. So, ilagay natin dito. Now, we can put here A, and L. So, ito yung parent genes natin. Now, gagawa tayo ng Punnett square for the F1 generation. So, here we will have AL, So, therefore, 100% is our brown eyes. Bakit? Because, di ba, ang dominant natin is the A genes. So, lahat sila may A. Therefore, yung apat na yan is or contains brown eyes. So, 100% yung brown eyes. Now, yung dalawang genes na ito is pagsamahin natin. So, here comes the F2 generation. That's right here, AL. And that is sorry. AL, AL. Now, pagsamahin natin, we have AA, AL, and LL. Now, yung tatlong offspring contains A, which is the gene for the brown eye. Therefore, 75% ang brown eye. Then, isa lang yung LL. So, bakit hindi siya mag-brown eye? It's because the gene of this one is only for black eye. That's why 25% ang black eye. Did you get it? Okay. Hold the blood That is 4. So, what's her blood type? Para malaman natin kung kanino ka pwede humingi ng dugo at kung kay sino mo ibibigay yung dugo mo. Okay, so here. In ABO blood system, we have this type of blood. If you are A positive, you can give blood to A positive and AB positive rather, and you can receive blood from A positive, A negative, O positive, and negative. Now, if you are O positive, you can give blood to all types of blood nga positive. But you can receive only sa O blood type lang with positive and negative. I'm sorry. Then if you are B positive, you can give blood to B positive and AB positive, and you can receive blood from B positive and negative and O positive and negative. Now, if you're AB positive, you can give blood to AB positive, and you can receive blood from everyone, which means you are the universal recipient. Now, here are the negative with the RH factor with negative blood type. Actually, gamay lang yun yung tawo ang may negative na rare lang yun ang may negative sa blood type nila. So here, if you are A negative, you can give blood to A positive and A negative, AB positive and AB negative, and you can receive blood from A negative and O negative. Now, if you are O negative, you can give blood to everyone. So it means O negative is the universal donor, but only receive blood from its own, which is the O negative. And if you are B negative, you can give blood to B positive and negative, AB positive and negative, and you can receive blood from B negative and O negative. If you're AB negative, you can give blood to AB positive and negative, and you can receive blood from AB negative, A negative, B negative, and O negative. If you want to review with this one, just post the video. So here, now let's talk about the parents' blood type. Now, if your parents has both A and A blood type, so the baby's possible blood type is A and O. So you can just pause the video and review this one.